All right, what's up, everyone? This is the Osmo.com NHL Hit the Ice Show. We have a 10-game slate to talk about for tonight. Nolan Kelly is here, joining me per usual. Nolan, how you doing this afternoon?
What's going on?
Not much, man. Just ready to
Yeah.
play some of this $20 on DK. How about you?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
What are you
Did
playing
you
tonight?
take anything down last night or?
No, God, no. No, I didn't watch at all. You were watching the show. It was Bachelor night. I have
That's-
priorities. Colton finally jumped the fence for the real fans out there.
Oh, thank
Uh,
God. But even I know that, and I don't watch The Bachelor.
yeah, it's been leading up the whole season. So, no hockey
Jesus.
for me last night, but I did lose some money. So, congrats if you took my
Oh,
money.
good. Yeah.
Donated a few dollars to you guys. Hopefully, we'll get it back tonight, though.
Ugh.
What do you like tonight? What are you
I'm,
playing?
I'm going in the 20 max. So I've been hand building a little bit too. Like, I've been trying Fantasy Crunch for about 10 days, 2 weeks now, and it is just not going well for me. So it's an interesting thing because, like, I think if you're doing 150, you got to crunch. There's just just
Yeah,
like having the time to do that is impossible. If you're doing 20, like, I like the feel that I have for my lineups when I hand build. So when you
sure.
crunch, it's like I don't quite know exactly who's in my lineup. So like on Saturday or something, I didn't even realize I had like two Adam Lowry lineups, and that was just throwing money away because he was out. So
Yeah,
little things like that, I think, give hand building a bit of an advantage. And for 20 max, I think I'm going to do that from now on. But yeah, just trying things out. Maybe like crunching a few and then seeing what lineups come up, and then like, oh, I kind of like that projection or that one. So gives you a good idea of where the optimal plays are as well.
sure.
So kind of
Yeah, no,
finding that.
it makes sense, right? I mean, when you make it by hand, or you click on every single player, it makes you like it feels like you have more control, right? So I understand that.
Yeah,
Um, it's tough to get comfortable, and it's hard to check over 150 lineups.
yeah,
Um, so it's yeah. I mean, I would still continue to do Fantasy Cruncher in the lower
yeah.
dollar
I think
stuff
I'll
if you're
I'll
doing it.
just keep doing it whenever they have those 50-cent mini
They have
maxes.
it
And
tonight if you want
what's
to
that?
play. They have it tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
dude.
They do. Boom in chat. Cassie back next week. Yeah, I mean minus 10,000 that she comes back. Uh, so I agree with you, Boom. I don't know the ending. I said that to my girlfriend last night. Like she's for sure coming back. Like there's no, he can't be with those other girls now that he said all that to her. So yeah, she's definitely coming back. Uh, when you do,
Did
what's that?
Did you watch any of Bobby Boom's L.A. police chase last night?
I did not.
He shared in chat. Oh my God! I was like, "What is this?" All right, it's a police chase. And my girlfriend and I sat there glued to this live police chase in LA for
Really?
like 30 minutes. It was amazing. Another truck started following him, and like this whole thing went down. Then the guy in the truck who was following him got arrested. It was such
Wow.
entertaining television.
That's just the
Wait,
Bobby Boom experience in premium Slack. So if you guys
wait,
want in on that, hit the ice. Promo code hit the ice. 50% off your first month of Osmo.com premium.
yeah,
Yeah,
better than The
dude.
Bachelor, that's for sure.
Oh, come on now. It's not for everyone, but I like it. Wait, people that
I
stack crappy
I gotta
teams
get
have
into it.
girlfriends. Guess I'm out $100. Uh, well, Arizona is a good team, Seth. So just wait till we get to aisles 4, and then maybe we'll have
Oh
something to
yeah,
talk
Flu
about.
Bug Isles 4. It's even better than normal Isles 4.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Someone asked the question: when you do 20 entry max, do you use FC or hand build those? I use FC, so I use FC almost exclusively unless I'm playing like 1 to 3 lineups. But yeah, for NHL, basically all season, outside of a couple nights, it's been only FC, and I feel like you still can definitely use it for 20 max. You don't have to though. I mean, just you don't have to do anything. There's no right or wrong way to play. Like we were talking about in chat earlier, we actually had a really good discussion in our premium Slack channel about Fantasy Cruncher and like randomness and stuff and what different guys do. We were talking about testosterone, um, and yeah, we didn't like come to a conclusion or anything about any of that stuff, but
Hmm.
like there are a bunch of good players that are profitable that have completely different lineup constructions in NHL, and it's
Hmm.
like that for all sports too.
Yeah, and we talked about it on the show, or you talked about it on the show yesterday about Osmo doing the 3-2-1 for the
Hmm.
two gamer, which I think was actually an interesting play and probably not a bad one last night. Because like if you did that strategy, Osmo's centers were ranked really highly. You probably ended up with a center in your util spot, and that was either like Eichel or yeah, it maybe didn't work because it would have been Eichel, McDavid, and then like if you had the right nuts combo, it might have been good. But I definitely like that approach when you have like a small slate and a lot of good players on it that you want to fit into your lineups and avoid duplication at the same time.
Yeah. Matt says Anaheim is a better team than Arizona right now with all the injuries, players returning from injury. I mean, I can see that. Yeah, getting Getzlaf back is huge for Anaheim, of course, and then also getting or losing Stepan, like he says. So that is, I mean, those are two big deals right there. So
Losing Stepan, but then the Ducks, still without Kasha, still without
right,
or now without Brendan Montour. So
yeah,
Ducks are definitely playing better since Murray took over. I don't think there's any debate about that.
for
But
sure. Still
probably a pretty
struggling,
good matchup.
still struggling defensively, though. I
Yeah.
mean, they just don't have the depth, right? So you get a deep team, they're gonna hand it to them pretty good. So I get it if you're not on Arizona tonight. I guess I'll just win all the money again with Brad Richardson and co.
Brett, are you going with that stack again?
Yeah.
What was it? Oh, did you have a Richardson Florida Panthers stack or was it Islanders?
I think it was Florida. Yeah, I think it was Florida. So I won't be playing Florida tonight. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I'm playing Florida tonight. So if that's the nut combo again, you won't see me have it. But I do have some of that Richardson line and actually some of the other Arizona line, the Arizona one as well. So we will see. Any big ownership spots you want to talk about before we kind of get going here?
Yeah, I'm not sure where it's going to go tonight. I'm kind of thinking maybe Colorado 1 would be the most owned, but they're really pricey. So Columbus 1, I think will get some ownership. Both the top Islanders lines are going to get some ownership. And then I think after that, it'll be a little bit more spread out. Maybe Dallas if Ben gets actually with Radulov out, that's not ideal. And then maybe I don't know if people will be on LA tonight, but they're reasonably priced. And we've talked a lot about how Montreal's just been the top two lines have been pretty bad defensively. Which line is it? The Drouin line, the Domi line, or the
swapped
Gallagher
their
line?
lines a little bit.
Yeah, but usually what's the terrible line of those two? It's one of them is like
the Domi line's really bad defensively.
Yeah. So either one of those LA Kings lines, I think, will be popular filler stacks. What about you? Where do you think the ownership's going tonight?
Yeah, it's tough, right? Because I kind of agreed with you to start. Like Colorado, big three back together. Once we got that confirmed, they've got a big goal total, and it's Detroit, but they're really tough to fit in. So I don't know if they're going to get over like 15% because there's just not a lot of stacks that make sense. Maybe now a little bit easier now that no Radulov. If people want to play whoever they think it's going to be with Sagan and Hintz, you can certainly do that with Colorado 1. You can play Arizona, you can play Anaheim. I know that's not super exciting options, but I think it's going to be between Tampa 1, the Kucherov point line, and maybe a Pittsburgh line sneaks up there. Like they're always tough for me to gauge, but like a 7 total now, they're around 4 goals. I just never really know with them. I feel like I'm always surprised on their ownership, and they're at home with a huge total. So maybe they seem even more ownership than like a Colorado 1 or not Tampa. I think Tampa's going to be number 1. But yeah, should be pretty spread out after that, I think. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether people are on the fact that Colorado 1's been reunited, because that happened about an hour ago. People sort of it was official anyways.
Yeah.
So that might lower ownership a bit, and just the fact that Landeskog is so pricey as well.
Sure.
But yeah, great matchup for them. There's a lot of spots to go tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Not a shortage of options in really any pricing tier. And I didn't even mention the Isles top line if they're together. So it should be a good one. I'm pretty excited. Yeah. All right. You want to get started on these games here?
Let's do it.
Because you will refer to your line change article, but for anyone trying to see that's not premium, that is going to be a premium article for the next little bit, probably to close out the season. And instead of that article, now you get my cheat sheets in front of the paywall. So go play my plays and see if we can be profitable, like Miguel asks. Yeah, let's do it. Carolina and Boston. We've got a 2.6 implied total for the Hurricanes, 3.0 for the Bruins. Could be McElhinney, could be Mrazek going up against the confirmed Yaroslav Halak. Do we have any noticeable changes here?
I don't think we do. Yeah, I think it's all the same. Just that Sean Corelli is still out for the Bruins, and Nordstrom will be on that line. And I think everything is staying the same for both these teams. Do you see anything?
No, I don't. I don't see anything that I like either. Like
Yeah.
two teams. So Boston's really tough. They're really tough at home. When they can stick Bergeron on an opposing top line, like you guys know, I love Carolina 1 as much as anyone. And they still have just disgusting numbers. But Bergeron, like he's just not a guy I want to mess with on a 10-game slate. And, I don't have 150, so maybe if I had 150 lineups to play with tonight, I would maybe get some Carolina 1 and just take a couple stabs at a line that's been awesome. But I'm only doing 50 tonight, and I'm not getting to Carolina 1. And then same thing on the other side. Like, Carolina 1's been okay defensively as well, so I'm not crazy about Boston 1. If I had to choose a line here, it probably would be Boston 1, but I just don't see a ton of weaknesses on either side that I really want to attack.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. Where I think the Vegas total probably agrees with you there. This probably is going to be a 3-2 game, somewhere in that range. So I wasn't getting any of these game lines as well, because they're also like kind of overpriced for this matchup. So tough one. I mean, if you want to go to this game, you're going to get it at low ownership. So there's your advantage. I could see like one of these Boston lines going off, but generally speaking, I think there are better plays on the board.
I agree. So yeah, low ownership. I mean, if you do like these lines, or if you're running 150 on FanDuel or something, then by all means, go overweight, pick a line that you like in this game. But I'm just not getting there. So I'm pretty much ready to move it on. If you got any defensemen or goalies you want to talk about.
Just that Halak rates out really well for Osimo tonight, and I think that's a pretty good play. We've seen that Carolina is scoring a little bit more just since they put that line together and they're converting on their chances, but there's still a pretty big discrepancy in their shot volume and their conversion on chances. So that's always a good play for a goalie, I think. And
Sure.
he gets the rare AAA grade from Osimo, which doesn't happen very often for goalies. So
Sure. Yeah, I don't mind the call at all. Columbus and New Jersey, we've got a 3.7 implied total for the Blue Jackets, 2.6 for the Devils. Should be Bobrovsky going up against Corey Schneider. Looks like some changes on the Devils side.
this is just brutal, man. I don't know if I've ever seen a team get hit with this many injuries.
Yeah,
Their entire forward group
decimated.
is decimated. Yeah. So Vatanen is out. Hissier's out. If you hadn't already missed it, Miles Wood is out. Palmieri is out. Who else am I missing? Taylor Hall, obviously. Yeah. Somebody else.
Rough.
I don't know.
Rough.
So this is like not that far from an AHL team. Like it probably would be, the Devils would be hard pressed to compete in the AHL. I think right now they'd be like top 8 teams. So yeah.
It's tough.
I don't know what to do about this one. Steve Santini, I think, will draw in for Vatanen. And then on the other side of things, like Columbus is still shuffling their lines a lot. The Beats didn't post any lines today. I would expect them to be the same. Duchesne up on Columbus 1. They've broken up that Jenner Foligno Anderson combo. Everything's just sort of all over the place. And it shows last game, like they lost, I think, was it the Oilers game they got beat?
Yeah, they got beat badly, 4-0, right, at home.
Yeah, so they keep mixing their lines up. So I don't know what to do with this game either. Like they have a huge implied total. The Devils are bad, so certainly makes sense. And like maybe just the play is like if you don't want to pay up for Columbus 1, maybe one of these filler stacks will go pretty like Columbus 2 or 3 will go pretty under owned.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking.
No, I think that could be the case. I just think there's something weird that we're gonna get in pregame skate.
Yeah.
So like I'm really holding off on having heavy exposure to any Columbus lines. Like I would not be shocked if Dubois is up with Panarin and Atkinson. I would not be shocked if Panarin and Atkinson were split up. Like nothing is really surprising
That's
anymore.
exactly what I think too. Yeah, like we just don't know what they're gonna do, and I don't know if it's the beats are useless or if they're like under orders from Torts, but they just don't tweet anything. They don't keep people up to date, so
It's
it's
like,
really hard.
yeah, it's like when they lose, like he thinks it's like they're having it like they have an edge by not announcing who's playing with who. Like the other team's not going to see it as
Which
soon as they go out for the first shift.
it's strange though because like what does Torts do for them? Like that would be like a quid pro quo, right? So
Right.
and
Right.
like all he is just a giant asshole to everyone. So I don't really get why the beats would ever actually do that, but who
Okay.
knows?
Matt says that they did report morning skate, Dubois, Panarin, and Atkinson. Is that right? Okay, so
Did they? I looked earlier and they hadn't reported anything, but maybe I missed it.
and then Homer Cleese points out that the Devils have been keeping it close. Yeah, they actually don't grade out that poorly in my model, like from a defensive standpoint, especially when they're at home.
Hmm.
So I was a little worried that I wasn't getting to a ton of Columbus, but with all this uncertainty, like if we saw Jenner with um, Anderson and Foligno, like if we saw that line again, I think I'd be pretty interested in that. I think I had Jenner on my cheat sheets when I thought he was going to be on the second or third line. On the fourth line, I probably wouldn't use him, but I just don't know who's going to be skating with who, and that top line is so expensive for a lot of uncertainty.
And even if you know who's skating with who, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that it's going to stay that way. So
Yeah, yeah. Foligno is a one-off. Yeah, he's not really a one-off type guy for me, but 4,300. I guess maybe if you're doing a power play stack, I'd be okay with it. I I have no clue what to do with Columbus right now.
I'm not seeing anything about that Dubois line change, but if you have the link to the tweet, share it in chat,
Yeah, I don't know if they can share links in chat actually, but
yeah. Or just share the name of the beat and we'll find it. But
yeah, yeah. Share the name of the beat, and then I'll go searching. So nothing. I guess the only good thing about this game is that it's a 7 Eastern, so you will have a half an hour, 20 minutes to react and make those changes. Um, I just, I don't know. I don't know what to do, as you can tell. So I'm kind of defaulting to just very limited Columbus exposure, maybe force in one or two out of my 50 of the top line, and then can kind of adjust afterwards.
yeah, fair,
If we get
fair.
new lines.
A little bit of a scary fade, but yeah.
Well, I think they're going to score goals. I just don't know if they're going to be correlated goals, which you kind of need on a 10 gamer here. So who knows who has the right line combos? You like any of the defensemen here, Werenski or Jones, or then anything really on the Devil side?
No, not really. Like Connor Carrick is on the power play. He's cheap, but I'd rather go elsewhere. Uh, yeah, I put in a couple of these like mid tier Columbus stacks. Yeah, just not getting to much here.
Yeah, I think Seth Jones is a guy I'll have a little bit as a one-off, and that's really about it for now. So
Yeah.
be in Slack if you are not in Slack. If you are not in Slack, get in Slack, promo code Hit the Ice, and we'll tweet out or share any tweets that we get with updated Columbus news.
How
Good.
about Devils 1 and 2, just with these reduced rates and like high ownership or high ice time?
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
too ugly.
I'd probably go to the top line, the Zajac line with Bratt and Stafford. It's ugly, but if you are trying to jam in a Colorado one, like it makes
Yeah.
sense. They're like
I
you
think
said, they're
New
going to see
Jersey
ice time
too
in
as
power
well.
play.
Like that's super cheap, but the problem is like you don't really have unless you're going to like a really expensive line. There aren't really defensemen to pay up for in this slate, right? Like there's a couple, but it's not
Oh,
like we have like
I got a
seven,
couple for
eight.
you. Yeah,
But I don't. I just mean like you don't have to go down that far.
yeah. No,
Like
I understand. Right, it's not
yeah,
super deep at the top with
yeah.
like stud defensemen. You want to mix and match. That makes sense.
And if you do want to go New Jersey 2 with the Coleman, I think that's a triple winger stack as well. So yeah, you'd probably be the only person who would have that.
All right, let's do Ottawa and the New York Islanders. 2.3 implied total for the Sens, 3.6 for the Islanders. Craig Anderson and Robin Leonard in net. Speaking of AHL teams, do we have any changes here for Ottawa?
No changes, but again, they switched up their lines as usual last game, so I don't think there was a single Senators line above 12% or something. And the top line, that the Pajot line or whatever the Pajot line is, they only got 7% 5-on-5 together. So Ottawa, to me, I'm just not going to play them until I see like that they consistently keep their lines together and they're in a very plus matchup. I'm out. And then the Islanders side, lots going on with the Islanders right now. There's a flu bug running through the entire team and the entire dressing room. So the fourth line is all entirely questionable. I think it looks like Zizekas is going to play. Clutterbuck and Martin are questionable, possibly game time decisions. And then, like, I don't know if anyone else is also going to suffer from the bug and be a late scratch. So that's definitely something you want to keep an eye on here. And just put the lock button on Nick Leddy, and you're good to go tonight.
Yeah, well, just leading off Letty. Now that we're there, I don't think he's a bad play. 3,100
Nice.
against Ottawa. He's at home. They could score on the power play. Like,
Yeah.
he hasn't been as bad a DFS play as we saw earlier in the season. He's priced way down, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
My guy's Pollock again. If I'm
Yeah.
one-offing, I think just low ownership and high shot volume guy. Not as much as of late, but like Ottawa just surrenders so many shots and scoring chances that. I'm with it for Pollock again. Feels like I've played in the last like 5 slates a ton, and I will do that assuming he's still playing tonight. We just don't know who's going yet for the Islanders. So this is another one. Lucky that it's at 7 Eastern because we're going to have, there's probably going to be 1 or 2 guys that are relevant in this game that are going to be scratched. It sounds like it was a handful of guys that may miss this game.
Yeah.
So lines are going to be funky. There's a good chance. Hopefully the Nelson line stays together if those guys are healthy. That's my favorite one, top power play for all of them.
But they're not going to be like, what's their ownership going to get to tonight, you think? Like 20,
No,
15?
no. Not
15?
20. I think 12 to 15 maybe. And I almost want there to be a bunch of line shuffles here because I just want unique combinations. It's still a good spot for the Islanders. They're still going to have a massive goal total. But just hope that enough people don't react that you do get some sort of correlation edge here. So I hope, I'd love to see Barzell with Anders Lee or something like that. Like, I think that'd be really fun, but we'll see who misses, and maybe they all play. You just never really know. So
and then like if you want something maybe a little bit contrarian, I think that for large GPPs, the Islanders probably have the best fantasy fourth line in the league.
Zizekas
And Clutterbuck, and like those guys score and they get a ton of ice time. So maybe less so slightly recently, but they were getting like 15 to 17 minutes. It's not really a traditional fourth line. So with all those injuries, they will not be owned at all, and they're cheap.
Yeah. So. I just hate having to scramble running Cruncher again in the last 15 minutes. Yeah, that's the struggle with stuff like this. You've obviously got the NBA guys. They can only hold so much data.
No, but I think what you do is you X them out in your crunches, and then if you're around at that time, then you go back and you add in a couple if you can, right? And then you could even just like if you get 2 or 3, you're still massively overweight on the field, right? On something like that, or even just 1.
Sure.
You're still going to be massively overweight. So.
You could always leave a little bit of extra room at the end of your crunch if you want to crunch 150, but maybe you do 130 and then you react to you make your 20 lineups and lock in a couple lines that you want to get exposure to. So
yeah, absolutely.
There's ways to do it. Use the calculate more button on Fantasy Cruncher. It's pretty helpful.
Yeah, that's a great point. Maybe we'll do our other show, our Cruncher show too. But that's another one that's a huge help when you're crunching.
Yep. Yeah. All right. And then I'm with you on Ottawa. I don't really want to attack the Islanders anyways. They're really frustrating to go up against. And then I was looking to see if we could play any Ottawa lines, and then I saw the shares last game, and I was like, nope, we're moving on. So
and Shabbat, man, he's no longer your go-to guy. Like what a huge fall from grace.
It's hard when you're playing with guys that probably skate as well as I do. So it's just he's 47 on FanDuel, but still it's not a good matchup. I'm not confident the Senators are going to score here. So all right, let's move it on to the next one. This one should be a little bit more fun. Panthers and Penguins, 3.1 implied total for the Panthers, 3.6 For the Penguins, Roberto Luongo going up against Matt Murray. Do we have any changes here?
Yeah, lots of changes. So Dadonov is back up on the Florida top line. Mike Hoffman moves back down to the second line. Jace Howard is on the fourth line, and Vetrano moves up to the second line. So kind of what we saw a couple weeks ago from these guys. Third line, I think, is the same. And then on the Pittsburgh side of things, in case you missed it last game, Jared McCann is up on the top line, and Dominic Simone and Hornqvist are down on the third line. So not sure why they keep taking Hornqvist off this line, considering it's so good, but it is what it is. And then on the defensive side of things, Brian Dumoulin is a game-time decision. There's another like mini leverage play. I think a lot of his offensive stats and upside were just directly tied to like being in the same pairing with Chris Letang. So take that maybe with a grain of salt. But that being said, like no one's gonna own him. He's fairly cheap, and he's kind of like an underrated defenseman. You know, he's just sort of, he can get you like 3.5, 4 points. But I don't love the play. I'm just sort of throwing it out there if he needs to differentiate.
Yeah. All right. So matchups here. I think we're going to see Crosby go up against Barkov, Huberdeau, and Dadonov. I really like the Crosby line. I hate the correlation they have. No power play correlation, assuming Gensel's still not on the top power play. McCann not on a power play, so it's kind of tough. But maybe you add in Schultz or Pedersen and try to get a little bit of extra correlation with the four-man. Just because the Barkov line in this form, Huberdeau, Barkov, and Dadonov, they've just been so bad defensively. Like, it doesn't really make sense. They were much better last year. And, you know, we're at a big sample with them. 171 minutes with this trio. They're giving up 16 high danger chances against per 60. Like, that's, you know, amongst the worst in the league for lines that have played that much together. I mean, I think I'm more like, so the two lines I'm targeting here are Pittsburgh 1 and Florida 2. Like, those are the lines I'm at least including in my crunch. I'm still not getting to a ton of them, though.
Yeah.
I'm probably closer to the field on Pitt 1. And the big total
What do you expect
here,
What do you expect that to be for Pitt 1?
It's always easy when there's not a ton of correlation, right? Because McCann's going to be like 7%, and Crosby and Gensel could be 20 and 14. So it's just, you know, you got to think of it as a 7% owned stack. And again, you hope that he gets in on the scoring. So that's how I would approach it. Then I don't have to get as much Crosby if they do go off at even strength and you really like the even strength matchup. Then, you know, you're still okay with 7 or 8% of this stack. So
yeah,
that's how I'm approaching it.
I like that. I saw that Osimo really likes Pittsburgh 2 today.
It makes sense. Top power play for Malkin and Kessel. Probably, you know, pretty decent even strength matchup against the Trocheck line. And just big goal total, so it makes sense. Yeah, Steve says he really likes this game. I really want to like it. I just like some other better spots. I'm just really worried this one's gonna bury me. So what are you at? What are you on here?
Yeah, I know. I didn't get too much of it, and I'm like regretting it. I kind of want to go back and just force some in, just because like the high total and like Luongo against the Penguins. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's been like really bad against the Penguins lately. So
not many people are great going into Pittsburgh these
that's true. That's true. But like, you know, like Florida just has those, I don't know, it seems like he has those blow up games these days. But
yeah, look at those defensemen. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I should probably force in some Florida too. I think that's mostly where I want to attack. You want to attack the Malkin line more than the Crosby line, in my opinion. So assuming I'm right on the matchups here, I'd probably go there. Again, just really worried this one's going to bury me. I don't see how I end up overweight on really anything here, which is extra worrisome. So hopefully this one stays somewhat quiet or a little bit spread around if there is a bunch of scoring.
Yeah, so Luongo's giving up 4, 5, 5, 4.
Against Pittsburgh?
Yeah, 4.
Sounds good. That's
it's pretty bad.
16, 11, and 6 in his career against Pitt. but looks like he's been pretty bad lately. If he's given up 4 and 5 goals every time out against them.
I mean, 16. Like when you take career stuff and you're going back to 2002 when the Penguins were bad and had no one, and Luongo had a .938 save percentage for the Islanders, right? So career stats are definitely not worth looking into when you have a guy who's played for 20 years.
All right, you got anything else in this game, or are we just kind of content going underweight here?
Yeah, I guess so. I'll see. I'm having FOMO, so I think I might get some Crosby, but he's really expensive on FanDuel and kind of pricey on DK as well. So
just to reiterate, Crosby line's going to be the one I'm most exposed to in this game, but probably won't get above like 10 or 12% at the very most. So
I like your idea going to Florida too as well. That's not going to get any ownership.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be super heavily owned. Just because Hoffman's almost 7K on DraftKings, so he's not going to grade out as a great value if you're using an optimizer. Same thing with Vetrano at 51, but a lot of offensive talent.
Just because the Barkov line has been the better line recently as well too, right?
Yep. So. Yep. All right, let's move it on to the next one. Another fun one here. We've got the Winnipeg Jets
and games tonight.
Yeah, and the Tampa Bay Lightning. 3.1 implied total for the Jets, 3.8 for the Lightning. Connor Hellebuck, and then assuming it's going to be Vasilevsky, that could change some things if it's for whatever reason not Vasilevsky. But we'll just go with Vasilevsky versus Hellebuck right now. Do we see any changes here?
I don't think we have anything major. Sorry, just give me 2 secs here. Let me pull it up. Looks like, so we copped Tanev Little. That's the same as last game, right? Roslovic on the fourth line. Bolio, everything looks the same. Sorry, I think I skipped on this game for some reason. But yeah, did you notice anything?
I did not, no. So
perfect.
Everything looks about the same.
Defense-wise, Colburn's out, looks like. So,
I don't know that there's going to be a ton of hard matching going on here now that Winnipeg's pretty stacked up top. You know, Hayes just kind of gives them a solidified second line. Get Brian Little out of there. Obviously they have a clear packing order, but I don't know that Tampa is going to hard match here. So I'm kind of just playing what I think is the best line, and that's the Point Kucherov Johnson line. I know they're going to be chalky. I am getting to them though. My numbers really, really like the matchup against Winnipeg, especially when you factor in some of their recent data. And just Tampa's power play is so good. You get Point and Kucherov on the top power play there. You can go Point Kucherov and somehow fit in Stamkos if you can do that, or go with Hedman or something like that. But I really, really love the spot for Tampa 2. I guess they're technically Tampa 2 here.
Nice, yeah. Totally agree. Decent price for that line as well. So, I'm in. You getting any of these Jets lines, or you just don't? You're not getting to? Not
really. Assuming it's Vasilevsky, that obviously makes a big difference for me here. But yeah, I'm not really getting to the second line all that much, even though I kind of recognize it's a pretty decent price for them. Ehlers under 5K, and then Hayes and Connor both in the 5K range. So it makes sense. I'm just really, really attacking the Winnipeg PK here. It's still no Bufflin, of course. Winnipeg's penalty kill was one of the worst in the NHL in February, bottom 5, and then we obviously know just how good Tampa is at both even strength and the power play. So I'm playing Tampa 2, and
it's gonna have a little playoff atmosphere, I think, in this one. So it could be tight. It's one of those games that could go either way. It could be like a 3-2, or it could be like a 5-4. I prefer other spots, but yeah, Tampa 2, and if you want a contrarian play, Winnipeg 1.
Yeah, that's probably where I would get to if I had 150. But again, just kind of trying to limit stuff a little bit with 50 tonight. And I'm just kind of foregoing Winnipeg 1 here. So hopefully it's Vasi, so I don't have to go back on that. What do you think the ownership projects for these Tampa Bay lines? I mean, I would think Point and Kucherov maybe get into the 20% range. Johnson's going to be half that.
Yeah. I guess, I think you're right, because Kucherov's just always owned, right? So I think, the ownership discount on this line is going to come from putting Johnson on it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, so I would just play the full stack, or Well, I would play the whole stack. That's what I'm going to do. But, if you wanted to play JT Miller instead of Johnson, he's listed on the top power play. Maybe a way to differentiate and save $800 there. But, yeah, Jake always gets Tampa right, so let's go. Yeah, Tampa.
Right. The Tampa Whisperer?
No, not at all. Yeah, you guys know that. It's been a rough go with me in Tampa. So maybe they can make it all back to me if we get there tonight. Hedman, I'm assuming you like. I kind of like Trouba on the other side. He's just grading out well for me. I think
Trouba's way too cheap.
Yeah, so good minutes he's going to see. Block shot, like more of a floor play, but still does play on the top power play. And Tampa has also committed a ton of penalties over the last month. So,
it's going to get 28 minutes. There are very few defensemen who are going to get that many minutes and power play one time at that price in a pretty good offense. I mean, not a great matchup, but definitely a good play tonight.
Yeah, I like it. Anything else here that we're forgetting?
Tampa 3, a little bit.
Tampa 3. Winnipeg's just deep now. They just, I don't know. Like this,
they're priced up too because like Killorn and Miller were on that top line for a bit, so it's like I feel like there's a residual price bump for them.
Sure, yeah, that's pretty fair. I'm not getting to Tampa 3, so I usually like them. They usually show up a bit for me, but not too much tonight. All right, ready to move it on to the next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
We've got the Wild and the Predators, 2.4 implied total for the Wild, 3.1 for the Preds. These two teams just played on Sunday, that was. Dubnyk and Rene. Saros got the start on Sunday. Do we see any differences here?
For the Predators, it looks like we have some new lines. So Wayne Simmons is on the third line, centered by Nick Bonino, I think, and Grimaldi, and then Turris, Craig Smith draws back in between, and Turris is between him and Granlund. So still going with their weird power play combos, it looks like, with Turris and Granlund on the power play 1. That's a little bit odd, but that Nashville 2 line is a pretty good bargain if you ask me. We'll see what they've got tonight, and then I think everything's the same on the Minnesota side. Parise back in for them, and just a note that Spurgeon's kind of getting most of the power play time these days. It was Sutter for a while, and now Spurgeon's moved on to that second unit, which is supposedly the second unit got more power play time last game. So it's about even split right there.
Sure. Minnesota's just taken a ton of penalties lately. They were third in February. Terrible kill as well. Like they've just really, really struggled at 4-on-5. Nashville hasn't been great on the power play basically this entire year. So it's
Worse
a little bit tough
league.
there. Yeah.
That's the most surprising stat.
They're tied for last with Montreal for the season. I don't know really what's going on with them. Like they just have
how is
way
that
too
possible?
good players.
4 power play 1 quarterbacks in your team.
Yeah, so right, and maybe Granlund helps that a little bit. He's pretty good on the power play. That's why they're switching things around, just trying to get anything going. But
I think that's why that's what all their acquisitions were about at the deadline too. Like you pretty much got 3 guys
Boyle,
that are like
Simmons,
proven power play snipers. So
yeah, so it's
sorry, interrupt you.
No, that's good. I really like Nashville 1 here, and I do like the second line as well as a secondary line. Nashville 1's just too cheap. Forsberg, Arvidsson, and Johansson, I would argue, are all underpriced. Dubnyk's been a lot better lately, so that's a little bit worrisome. But, man, I just think best line in the game, I don't think Nashville 1's going to be owned really at all. They weren't great on Sunday. They did have quite a few chances they kind of missed. They were close quite a bit. But, yeah, I'm really on Nashville 1 here. That's kind of one of my big stands for tonight.
Little bounce back.
Yeah. I just have a hard time believing they're this bad on the power play too. So regression has not come all season, but man, this seems like a pretty good spot for it to happen. Minnesota had a 66% kill in February, and then I think they're 3 for 5 in their first couple games in March. They just haven't been good on the kill, and they're taking a bunch of penalties too.
So yeah, Nashville as well is like one of those prime positive regression candidates that we've seen, like just as a team, which I'm guessing is mainly Nashville one, but they rank like fourth in high danger chances over the past 10 and third in scoring chances again, four in the last 10, but they are way down in 26th place in high danger goals for. So basically it just means like they're second last in scoring chances goals for. So they're creating chances and not converting at a really, really disparate rate, which means that's a huge opportunity to get in on the ground floor.
Yeah, I mean, and Nashville One's numbers, talked about them a bunch, but like they're just generating so many shot attempts, so many scoring chances, 40 scoring chances per 60, nearly 19 high danger chances for per 60. Like these numbers, you just don't see this at even strength. Mm-hmm. So, like, I really love them at even strength. I would play them even if I didn't think they were going to get power play time here. But, I'm hoping they can somehow contribute on the power play because it's not like they're just free or anything. But I still think they are underpriced, and I don't think this is too bad of a matchup with Minnesota pretty banged up here.
Yes, I agree.
Yossi is also one of my highest exposed guys on the night. And that is really all I have here. I'm not playing much Minnesota, or really any at all, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm not continuing Minnesota either. Maybe Minnesota 3 is a filler stack just because they're cheap. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. Didn't pop up, but and then like I think a contrarian play, maybe Spurgeon, 1% owned.
I mean, he's playing a lot of minutes. 4,800 price come down.
Differentiate your lineups. Yeah, he played 28 minutes last game, so same kind of position as Trouba, just a little bit pricier.
Sure. All right, ready to move it on?
Let's do it.
Rangers and Stars, 2.5 implied total for the Rangers, 3.4 for the Stars. Alexander Georgiev going up against Ben Bishop. What do we have here? Some morning skate news?
Yeah, apparently the coaches decided to make a point with Radulov in the middle of a playoff race here. So Alex Radulov missed practice this morning, and he's going to be benched tonight. That happened after practice. So anything you saw, like he was in line rushes during practice. So anything you saw tonight or anything you see on any line site, I think is wrong, unless someone can correct me on that. But
or it's just a guess.
Yeah, it's a guess. Sorry, not wrong, but just a guess. So we won't know until line rushes. I don't know what you expect. I'm kind of thinking that Ben might be back up there, but I don't know. I have no idea, to be honest.
Yeah, what do you think? I just don't know. This is another one you just don't really know. We're not going to have confirmation on this before lock. So you're going to have to figure this out at 8 o'clock Eastern if you're around your computer or phone or whatever. Maybe you just put Sagan with Ben and Hintz. That's something that I'm flirting with. Those guys are probably all going to be on the top power play, so you're not dead if it is indeed Nichushkin or Janmark up top with Sagan.
Or even like a going with a 3-2-1, taking Hintz off and doing like a power play one stack with Ben Sagan and Klingberg.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine as well. I mean, I don't know. You really want to attack the Rangers here. At least I would like to. Especially this top line with Zibanejad and Kreider. They've been pretty poor defensively. So I want Sagan and Hintz, and I'm probably just going to go with Jamie Benn because the Nichushkin thing, they've tried him up there a handful of times this year, and it's like a couple shifts, and he's already down there. And then, he's 2,500, but you still need something from him at that
he's
price.
Useless.
Like, you need an assist, or you need him to get in on something. So I'd rather just go with Ben. Probably going to make that manual change in Cruncher so I can get some Dallas exposure just to the best skaters they have.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that like even with line rushes, like you almost don't even need to worry about line rushes. That's the counterpoint to this is like because there's a pretty good chance that they're going to be changed in game anyways. So you might as well just go with the talent and see what happens. I guess.
I mean, another thing you could do is just play Sagan with Ben and Spezza.
Yeah, exactly. You're guaranteed to be on the power play, and then the worst case scenario is like Ben stays on the line with Spezza, right?
Right.
So, so I like that a lot. I think like Ben, I don't know if they'll go under owned or that combo will go under owned. I'm not entirely sure how people will attack it, but I think you probably get a bit of a leverage on that one.
Mm-hmm. I I kind of want to play the Zibanejad line. Like I said, they're bad defensively. I still think they're going to be able to generate, especially if they get matched up with Sagan and Hintz. Those two have been really bad defensively. So I'm getting some Rangers 1 here, and that's really about it. So get creative with your Sagan, Hintz, Spezza, Ben stacks. Power play stack with Dallas is my advice. And then I do like bringing it back, not game stacking, but I do like playing some Rangers 1 here if you are going to the Rangers.
Yeah.
Klingberg, 5,500 underpriced.
Yeah, I like Klingberg a lot. I like the Rangers 1 call. Klingberg, I wonder how much ownership Klingberg is going to get. I think he's going to be popular, but he's just kind of like, there are a few guys in this range that are sort of in plus positions that are priced pretty reasonably, that have a lot of upside. Rangers penalty kill hasn't been great lately. Bottom 5 in the league on the year. So, I like him a lot tonight.
Yeah. Yep, hard not to like Klingberg. 8 points grade, A value in Osmo's grades. No surprise, he's going to come up as basically one of the top values in every projection system tonight. So
yeah,
makes sense. I'm eating the chalk with Klingberg, so I don't think he's going to be over like 25 or 30%. So I don't think you're really going to have to worry. All right, got anything else in this game?
Nothing.
All right, Red Wings and the Colorado Avalanche, 2.7 implied total for the Red Wings, 3.7 for the Avs. Jonathan Bernier going up against Semyon Varlamov. Do we have any noticeable changes outside of the very obvious Colorado 1 back together?
Yeah, Colorado 1 back together, so that has ramifications down the rest of the lines. Soderberg with Wilson and Comfer, Jost with Calvert and Brassard. And then on the Detroit side of things, it looks like Thomas Vanek will suit up. He's a game-time decision. Mike Green is out 7 to 10 games, so Filip Hronek is back up on the power play 1. He was kind of like splitting time with Green last game. So, and then I think these lines, other than that, are pretty much the same. Yeah.
Did you say you saw anything about the Detroit lines? Are those confirmed?
I think they're confirmed. Yeah.
Okay. I figured. I mean, I saw. Go ahead.
We don't know about Vanek yet. That's the only thing.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, just the top one is really it for me, because I really like this game quite a bit. So I know it's not a hot take, 6.5 total or so. Obviously, Colorado 1, really hard not to like them, but I really love this Larkin, Bertuzzi, and Mantha trio. I don't know that they're gonna see a hard match against McKinnon. Even if they do, I still think they're gonna be able to generate against them. Mm-hmm. And it's just a good price for 3 guys that have played really awesome together when they've been together. And you look at even like Larkin with Bertuzzi or Larkin with Mantha, he's just been so good. Avs obviously take a bunch of penalties. Detroit takes a bunch of penalties, and then neither team really that great at killing him off either. So I will check on the refs here. This may be a game that you might want to check out. But what say you, Nolan?
Yeah, so Detroit 1's a bit of a sneaky play. Like, that total's not very big, so that concerns me a little bit. But they're not going to get ownership tonight. They're obviously very good, and Colorado plays some pretty high event hockey. Anytime I watch Colorado, it just seems like run and gun. So definitely like that, or as an underrated game stack. And then on the other side, I'm just gonna. I'm feeling. I think I'm gonna irrationally force in some Colorado 1 stacks as much as possible. Let's go back to the days of October and November when they were winning us all the money.
Yeah, I mean Bernier in net as well. Like it's setting up really nicely. So the price is pretty warranted. I'm
gonna go 40% Colorado tonight.
You're gonna be over by a good amount, like double the field, I think at least.
Yeah.
So
I think get some unique combos in there and try to find some, hopefully one of those second or third line testosterone lines that go off. But I like Colorado tonight.
So that was the thing is I really like Colorado 1 in a vacuum. It's just hard to find filler stacks that I'm comfortable with. So
nothing like great, but I think that what did I get to? So you can put in Islanders 2 with them pretty easily. Nashville 2 fits well.
Okay.
Either of Columbus 2 or 3 if you want to go that route. Anaheim, the Richardson line, and my favorite stack of the night, or favorite team of the night, the LA Kings first, second, and third lines.
Yeah, you can do that. So, I actually Yeah, I think that's viable if you're trying to jam in Colorado 1, which I don't think is a bad idea. So
Yeah.
you
Those
have to,
are the ones I got too anyway. So like not ideal, but also some pretty low owned lines as well for GPPs. So
yeah. Tyson Berry going to be my highest exposed guy by a
yeah,
mile tonight. No one's going to even come close to him. And yeah, I just hope for a lot of penalties in this one and power play opportunities. I think even strength, both of these teams are also going to be fine, especially both of those top lines. So really, really heavy on this one. Hope it does not flop, because if so, I may not eat this week.
I think you'll be all right for a little bit. You got a buffer.
Yeah, I think Bowie could see 20 minutes with Green out. I mean, paired up with Cronwall, maybe that's possible. What do you think about that, Madison Bowie?
Sorry, what was the question?
Madison Bowie, do you think he's playing 20 minutes tonight? Do you think it's possible?
How many? What's he getting normally?
He just came over from the Caps, I believe. So, but he's paired with Cronwall. So maybe look at what Cronwall's been doing as far as minutes. Let's see.
Because Trevor Daley's also back, so I would say he's probably going to be in the 15 to 17 range if he's on a second pairing.
Just looking at it now, I mean, Cronwall's only getting like 18 or 19, so I think 20 might be a little bit of a stretch.
Third pairing. Maybe 15 minutes is probably more likely.
Yeah.
Don't really love them. I think they're a better place tonight.
Ottawa. Steve says he was with Colorado 1.
Steve had a good night last night.
Steve?
Almost there.
Did he?
What'd you finish? 4th? 3rd?
Nice. Congrats, Steve. Those 2-gamers, man, those can be fun sometimes. They change in a heartbeat, though.
I know.
All right. Let's say we go to the... Oh, 2 more games left. Ready?
Yeah.
Ducks and the Coyotes. 2.4 implied total for the Ducks. 2.9 for the Coyotes. Just a heavenly game here for me, especially if you're trying to jam in Colorado 1. What do we see here?
Yeah, that was the other one. Yeah. Or Arizona 3. Yeah, line changes. I think they're all pretty much the same. Stepan out. Connaughton is in. I can't remember if he played last game. And then if you missed the Sunday slate, Getzlaf and Perry were lined up with Kevin Roy. And then I think the other lines are pretty much the same. It's Jones with Kessler and Rowney, Terry with Grant and Sprong. Yeah, and then the only other note I have here that my kind of sneaky play of the day is Brendan Gooley, who is 3,100 on DK. He's probably the bare min on FanDuel. He got technically is on the power play 1. That's probably about a 50-50 split, but he's getting about 20 minutes, second pairing with Fowler, power play time, pretty cheap. Arizona has a tough kill, but he's not going to be owned. I don't think people are onto him yet. So in that price range, along with Girard, I think he's not a bad flyer defenseman.
Yeah, he's a guy that I played, I think, last slate that Anaheim was on quite a bit.
Nice.
Yeah, so I don't mind that call. Gould or Gooley? Whatever. As long as he's getting me fantasy points, I could care less about his pronunciation of his name. But yeah, this one, obviously a lot of value. You just don't see very many expensive skaters, only a couple guys over 5K in this entire game.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of all over the place here. I hope it's Henrique between Raquel and Silverberg. I would have the most interest in that line on the Anaheim side. But I also think the Getzlaf, Perry, and Roy trio, that is just super, super cheap exposure to Getzlaf. And both him and Perry are on the top power play, like you said, tough kill, but still super, super, super cheap. And then I'm going back to the Richardson line. It's not even a recency bias thing. I think it's going to be an okay matchup, whoever they go up against, whether it's the Henrique line or the Getzlaf line. And then, they're all on the power play in some fashion. It's showing right now that they're all together. But, man, they've just been so good at even strength that I'm just not worried about the Ducks matchup. I know they're healthier or whatever, but too cheap for a line that has been impressive at 5-on-5.
The Cousins line?
The Richardson line.
Right.
Cousins line is also fine.
Cheap. They're cheap. And, there's going to be some recency bias, I think, there, and people will be taking them. But maybe just a little bit more than they're used to. You'd get that line at less than 1%, and now it'll probably be closer to 3%. But I like that. I like that call. Yeah, they've been really good together.
Banking on another Hattie from Richardson. Well, you might be waiting a few years for that.
Hattie,
And
it was 4.
yeah, it was 4. So, and I actually ended up needing all 4, which is crazy, absolutely insane. The
I
game
know.
stack
I
was
actually
chasing
like.
me
Did I tell
down.
you I had a lineup there in the 20 max, and I was like, well, this lineup's dead. And then I looked back and checking it, it's like Richardson, 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 and
Oh
then
yeah,
and you're like, all of a sudden, I'm in third place, and didn't last because of Barkov, but
hmm
that was one of the weirdest sweats ever.
yeah, that was a weird one. It was everything happened late too, so like you thought the slate was kind of over, and
Yeah.
then Brad Richardson ruined it. So hoping for another one of those tonight. I like Ekman Larson as well, 4,600. Only a C value here for
Hmm.
Osmo. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think I would have him more in the A or B range. And
Sure.
same thing with Chikrin as well. Goligoski a little bit priced up, so I prefer
Yeah,
Ekman Larson first, then Chikrin, then Goligoski.
I like it.
Moving on,
Last one.
Montreal and Los Angeles. Your game here. 2.9 implied total for the Canadiens, 2.6 for the Kings. We have Carey Price in net. Should be Jonathan Quick for the Kings. Do we see any changes here?
So Tyler Toffoli is up on the Kings top line, and then Iafallo is back down on the third line. So I kind of like that line a little bit more for the Kings. I don't know, just feel like Toffoli's a better player. Maybe I'm out to lunch there.
He is.
And then the Habs line, or the Habs line's Kokanemi's getting rested because Julian's worried he's tired. So they're totally revamping their middle 6 or bottom 9 or whatever. So it's Wheel, Armia, Drouin, Byron, Domi, Shaw, and then Lekkonen's down on the fourth line. So I like this spot a lot. The only thing that you're not going to like about it is obviously Price can steal a game or two. It's probably one of the best goalies in the league, so it's a little bit scary from that standpoint. But we've seen some pretty bad defensive numbers from that Domi line.
Yeah.
So
So that's tough. Do they have a sample together, Domi with Byron and Shaw?
I don't think so, but I'm
I'll check
guessing
on that quick.
like I always just default to the center, like the center is probably the main
Right. Yeah.
reason,
He's got
for
the most.
terrible defense.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think the Domi line's going to be bad defensively.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty clear we're going to see Kopitar go up against Gallagher and Tatar on the Montreal one.
Which means the Jeff Carter line should get the plus matchup, right?
Right. So, God, the Jeff Carter, he just doesn't show me anything the whole season. He just cannot generate any offense. So, I know they're dirt cheap. I understand it, but I don't even know if I'm going to end up on any LA2 here. I'd rather just go with the top line. At least Kopitar has flashed some offensive upside. And he's
2 assists last game for Carter.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I must have missed that slate, so good thing. Otherwise, maybe I think he's back and go all
He's
in.
not shooting a lot. It's kind of weird, but I mean, he's Jeff Carter, like it's not like.
I mean, he's not even. Yeah, he just can't. Jeff Carter, LOL, nope. He's just not doing anything.
So cheap.
Oh my God. I know, but you're still paying for a name. He's been a $2,500 player for half the season. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's just not healthy.
I don't
Maybe
know.
He's washed.
I think this is a pretty reasonable price and a pretty plus spot for Kovalchuk, 30 points, 15 goals in the season. Carter has 10 goals and 27 in 59 games. So, I mean, and Leipzig is actually he scored in 2 and has points in 3 of 4. I mean, it's just a little recency, but I don't know. I think it's a pretty good play tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I have a lot, but I just think that as a filler stack with Colorado 1, you throw them in 2 or 3 lineups.
Yeah, I think I agree with the chat here. I think I'd take Kempe. I think I'd take a shot on this Kempe line. Kempe with Brodzinski and Iafallo before I start playing Carter. So that, if you want to jam in.
Brodzinski is interesting too because he's on the power play 1 as well.
Mm-hmm.
So just that Iafallo is priced up and I guess that's actually not a bad idea too. I've got a couple shares of that, or maybe just 1 share of that one, but
I've got them with Tampa 1 and Colorado 1. So that, I mean, it's just a means to get some extra exposure to the other top lines.
Let's see what Osimo says. He can be the tiebreaker.
About
LA2.
He's gonna like him.
A value.
A value. Yeah, exactly. He's
LA
gonna play.
3, C grade A value. So if you think that third line is going to be less owned, there you go. Go for the
Yeah.
third.
Yeah. I mean, Kempe's just done something. He's just, I don't know, whatever. I think we're spending too much time on
Jeff
the
Carter hat
Kings.
trick tonight.
I mean, you can have all the money if Jeff Carter gets a hat trick tonight. On the other side, I wanted to like Montreal here. I just they haven't been great on the power play either. So like worst in the league, tied with Nashville actually. So it's like in theory a good power play spot. They just haven't done anything there. No Kotkaniemi. That'd probably be a line I'd look at if it was Kotkaniemi with Armia and Lehkonen. I would be actually pretty excited about that line going up against the LA depth, but obviously he's not playing, so I'm hoping this one stays pretty quiet.
Yeah, I think I was kind of with you, and I'm just kind of out on it now. The other advantage to playing LA, if you want to go that route, is quick is cheap, and Montreal gets a ton of shots, so there's some upside there.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, my goalies against Montreal always grade out pretty well for me too. So yeah, give me some quick with your LA too.
My only other rando low on flyer is I think Forbert's ice time is way up again. He doesn't seem to do a lot ever, but still, he got 27 minutes last game, and I think he's is he the bare man or?
Yeah, he's bare man. He's bare man.
Of the bare man defensemen, he's my favorite tonight.
All right, you can have LA 2 and Forbort. I'll take Nashville 1.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I look forward to going to the poorhouse tomorrow.
Yeah, me too. Alec Martinez is back. That might hurt Forbort / Phaneuf. Oh, Phaneuf. Forgot about him. Woof. All right.
Yeah.
What am I forgetting to talk about? All right, guys, sign up for premium. Of course, promo code Hit the Ice gets you 50% off your first month of any Osmo.com premium package. Come hang out with us in Slack. We will be posting tweets from beat writers, any updates we get on lines going up until lock and probably after lock as well. People will tilt, and premium Slack is just the best. Talk strategy, have some good discussions, talk other stuff that has nothing to do with hockey. Bachelor talk for the few of you. I know the quiet people that are thinking about the Bachelor now that I brought it up. Feel free to give your takes in chat as well. Anything else I'm forgetting, Nolan, or you got any last words for the people?
No, I think that's it. It's gonna be an interesting slate tonight. I like this one. Colorado 1. Let's
Barry
go.
or Nemeth GPP. Unfortunately, it would be Tyson Barry for me. Very close though, Steven. All right, guys. I believe we'll be back tomorrow. I think we have a pretty decent slate for a Wednesday, so look for us to be back tomorrow. There will be a show, of course. Probably going to be Nolan and I. Good luck tonight, guys. See you.